Hello and welcome to round one of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. It's a whole new season and it kicks off here at Barbagallo Raceway in Western Australia. There's been a whole bunch of changes to the event format, cars and teams in the off-season. But before we take a look at that, let's check out what drifting is all about. Then we'll take a tour of the track and head into qualifying. Drifting is motorsport meets extreme sport. Instead of being the first across the finish line, drivers are judged like in freestyle motocross or skateboarding. The judges outline the course and what they want to see in a driver's briefing, and then in solo qualifying, drivers are judged on their line, angle, speed and overall impact or style. Their score is then used to determine their placing in the battle tree for the tandem runs. Drivers go head-to-head, taking turns at a lead and chase run, and the chase car is judged on their proximity and emulation, while the lead car is judged on their line speed and angle and overall impact like in qualifying. Essentially, the lead car is trying to do a perfect run, while the chase car is trying to copy their run while getting as close as possible. The judges choose a winner or a rerun, and it's best 2 out of 3. It makes for fierce racing and non-stop action. The Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP is the country's premier drift series and where the best come to battle it out. For more information on rules and regulations, head to our website, australiandriftinggp.com. Round 1 was held at Barbagallo Raceway in Western Australia. 2.4 kilometres long, it comprises of a short and long track for general racing, but for ADGP we used the top section of the short course, and this year for the first time a new run-up and first corner backwards from the bowl. From the Just Car Insurance start line, the track layout uses the old pits with an outer clipping point on the entry. Then across to the KS Racing outer clipping zone before an inner clipping point on the Achilles hairpin. There is 2 outer clipping points in the Newlon S's before going across the I Love Drift finish line. We'll hand over to one of our judges, Fernando Wheel, to talk about the judging criteria.
We want to see a full throttle run-up, throwing the car in nice and aggressive, as close as 90 degrees as possible with a rear bar hanging over the dirt. Into a snappy transition to the outer clipping zone with the rear wheels as close to that white line as possible. Into the hairpin, hitting the inner clipping point, then pushing as wide as they can to hit the outer clipping point, keeping the wheels as close as they can to the edge of the track. From there, with as much speed and angle as possible, cross over the track once again, hit that final outer clipping point, and then over the finish line.
Yeah, so it's a great track. Love coming up over that blind hill into a blind corner and throwing into that hairpin.
Probably one of the funnest tracks I've been on. It's super aggressive, super committed. The new track layout is really, really good. It's especially good in my car. It's really snappy and twitchy.
I reckon it's going to be good for battles. So I reckon it's going to be a good track.
First up, let's go for a ride with 5th place qualifier Michael Rosenblatt in the Newlon Oils R32 to get a first-hand look at the track. Let's take a look at that run from the outside now. Very aggressive entry there from Michael Rosenblatt. In 4th place, Josh Botcher in the Tyrite GT Radial 180 SX. Third place, going to another Queenslander, Nick Coulson, in the X-Force Performance Exhaust Achilles Radial VE Ute. Let's check out that run again now from the onboard camera. second place qualifier went to Levi Clark in the Exeter Racing S15 with another one of those crazy entries. And the man that wanted it the most, number one qualifier, Jared Klingberg, the Barossa Spot On Fishing KE70 wagon. Well, that is the top 5 qualifiers. Let's take a look now at the rest of the top 10. Stick around, because after the break, we're going to head into the top 16 tandem battle eliminations.
At Just Car Insurance, we're into imported, high performance and modified cars. So if it's not just a car and you want comprehensive insurance that offers easy pay by the month premiums, call Just Car Insurance on 13 13 26 or buy a new policy online and save $50.
Hello and welcome back to round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. One of the biggest changes to this year's event format is the running of 2 of our rounds inside Power Cruise. So what is Power Cruise? Well, a little bit hard to explain in words, so let's go and take a look. Power Cruise is a car event like no other, combining competitive events including off-street racing, power skids, burnouts and drifting with a more traditional car show including show and shine, trade stands and entertainment, along with the most important unique ingredient, cruising. Essentially, you can load your mates into your car and hit the track for a cruise alongside the toughest street and race cars in the country. It's not a race around the track, but you can line up other cars down the straight, and best of all, you get to enjoy it with your mates. The diversity of cars is huge, with old school muscle, hot rods and Aussie saloons mixing with imports, drift cars, track cars and even exotics, with everything from daily driver to track monster. There really is something for everyone. The event hits Sydney, Perth, Brisbane and Tasmania multiple times a year and has even spread overseas with events in New Zealand and the USA. Running Australian Drifting GP inside Power Cruise means more value for money for spectators and more entertainment for Power Cruise fans. For more info, head to the website powercruise.com. Well, it's time to get the battle started. Here is the Newlon Oil's Top 16 battle tree. Some pretty serious matchups about to unfold. Our first one, number 1 qualifier, Jared Klingberg and Jack Callow. These guys had to go a rerun after a mistake from Klingberg in the first battle. Will Jack Callow create an upset here? It's happened before, it could happen again. This is the rerun. Jared Klingberg leads in the Barossa Spot On Fishing K70, throws it in big angle. Callow simply couldn't match it. He dives in now as they come into the Achilles radial hairpin. A little bit messy from Callow there, but he does start to get better proximity on Jared Klingberg as they come past the I Love Drift finish line. Judges still giving that a slight advantage to Jared Klingberg after that crazy entry. Let's see what happens now when they flip it around. Jack Callow will lead in the Tintercar Gawler Commodore Ute. Throws it in big. Klingberg is right there with him. They transition now into the Achilles hairpin, but Klingberg throws it away. That spin gives him a 0 and hands the win straight over to Jack Callow.
We had to do a rerun, so like Jared's a fellow SA competitor and definitely a quick and snappy driver, but yeah, I think he made a mistake behind me, so puts me through.
Our next pairing now, the young gun Brent Gordon up against reigning Australian champion Rob White in the Achilles Radial 350Z. He's driving his backup car again this weekend, so he's a bit down on power. His new NASCAR-powered 370Z not ready for this weekend, but he's giving this car everything he can. As you can see there, big entry from Rob White. Brent Gordon doing everything he can. He goes a little bit wide there. Rob got one wheel onto the strip. Brent looks like he got two, so there'll be a points deduction for both drivers. Brent Gordon not doing too bad a job on the chase there. It was just a little bit messy on entry. Spin it around now. Brent Gordon is in the PSA Ski Boats S15. V8 power under the hood. An LSX drift conversion kit used for that car. Throws it in pretty big. Rob White. Pretty good chase so far. What happens now is they switch into that Achilles Radial hairpin. Rob White, great proximity from the reigning champ as he cuts through into the short course and past the I Love Drift finish line, which will give him the win.
You know, I could see him right up there. But look, these Achilles tyres are working awesome for me, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully we can get through the top four after the next one.
Our next pairing now, Josh Botcher in the Tyre Right GT Radial 180SX from Queensland, and Jack Widdis in the GH Haulage R31 from South Australia. Josh Botcher will lead as the higher qualifier. Let's see how this unfolds. Botcher, big entry. Widdis very late to enter. Could not match Botcher's entry there. They come into the Achilles